Mark Bishop Show, truly like a box of chocolates. You never know who you're going to meet, from business, lifestyle, and fun. Here's Mark.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Mark Bishop Show. Well, you know the dates. We are in October, the 19th to the 25th every year. It's National Teen Driver Safety Week. Very important. Would you believe that if I told you 8 U.S. teens are killed in car crashes each day? And yes, there is a safe driving program that aims to change the statistics and give new drivers the tools that they need to stay safe. My special guest for this episode is James Bell, and he's the head of corporate communications, Kia America. Kia America. Welcome, James.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a very important topic, so we appreciate your time.
It's a sad thing for parents, James, that car crashes are the leading cause of death for teenagers in the United States. This is according to the National Safety Council.
And I'll double down on that a vast majority of those crashes are completely unnecessary. They're generally sourced from, I guess you could say youthful exuberance or pushing the boundaries a little bit. That's just a part of human nature. That's a part of being a teenager. But behind the wheel of a car since the car was invented is the wrong place to have that. And so it continues to be an issue here in 2025, and that's why we're excited to talk about this program that hopefully can have some positive impact.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. It's pretty cool. I mean, each year in October, National Teen Driver Safety Week serves as an opportunity for parents and guardians to have a conversation with teens about safe driving habits. I mean, what are the latest statistics, I should ask you, James, actually, on teens and motor vehicle crashes in the U.S.?
Yes, understand. Well, I'll make that answer super easy. One is too many.
One is too many.
As simple as that. And again, because these are, unnecessary. These are not traffic related. These are not weather related crashes. They're not, the vehicle having some sort of technical breakdown or problem. These are just, for lack of a better term, unsophisticated driving and immature driving.
Right.
And in many cases, because of the era that we live in, distracted driving.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, one of the parts of the curriculum that I'm a big fan of in the Brakes program is they'll have a teen driving on the closed course, going around cones, and as soon as the instructor senses that the teen is comfortable and feeling confident, he or she will reach into their pocket and take out their phone and say, "Oh wow, look at this funny picture I just received."
Yeah.
And if the teen looks, they fail that part of the class.
James,
and I think that's a big part of it, too.
It is.
Yes,
And until you ever bring the law in, no phones, no texting while driving, it's not going to help. If you would, tell us the story about Brakes, the safe driving program. When and why was it created?
Sure. So Doug Herbert, who's a gentleman I've had the pleasure of spending some time with and hearing his story, very, very sad story, he was a nationally renowned NHRA drag strip driver. He was one of those guys that would strap himself into a car and push it to the very limits at 300 plus miles per hour. And he made his fame and fortune doing that. About 15 years ago, he was sad to find that his two boys were driving back from an event, and about a mile from their house had a single car crash, and both boys were killed. Now, we don't know what it was that caused the accident, but there was probably some degree of immaturity involved. And so Doug said to himself, again, the irony of him being a person whose career it was to taunt and tease death every time he got in behind a wheel. Here his son's having this terrible crash. So he made it his life's mission, he and his wife, Mimi, at that point, to change the story, to give opportunity to teen drivers to understand and respect what it means to get behind a wheel. This is not, I think, and this is a lesson that adults can use as well. I mean, if you're hustling down the road at 70 miles an hour in a beautiful car that's quiet and peaceful and comfortable, but outside that vehicle is something very, very violent and can change very quickly.
It's a lethal weapon,
when you're
isn't
an adult,
it?
that's already... Oh, absolutely. And it's bad enough when you're an adult, but it's near impossible when you're a teen.
Well, this 501, folks, this 501c3 organization, Be Responsible and Keep Everyone Safe, it provides free advanced driver's education in a program entitled the Brakes Teen Proactive Driving Curriculum, with a fleet of vehicles actually provided by Kia. So what began as a local safe driving class for his boys' friends has grown to become a sought-after free safety class for teenagers in towns all across the U.S. And today, teens who take breaks, this is interesting, are 64% less likely to be in a crash within their first 3 years of driving. I mean, that's cool. So how did Kia first become involved in the program, James?
Well, it's pretty simple, actually. I mean, we feel like we make some of the more attractive and valuable and safe vehicles on the road today. But at the same time, we live in the same communities that you live. Our kids go to the same school that your kids go to. We're just normal folks trying to get through the day. And we just felt like, well, while we know our vehicles are helpful, the driver is always the variable. And especially the behaviors behind the wheel. And so we thought, what can we do to assist that? And that's how we ended up meeting Doug. And as you mentioned, we now provide a fleet of Kia vehicles that fan out across the country and do courses coast to coast. Doug and his team are based in North Carolina, but they run programs from Seattle to Miami. In fact, my own daughter, when she turned 17, I signed her up for a class, and it's quite interesting. The class is a very parent and teen intensive thing. They start very early on weekend mornings. My daughter was not pleased to get in the car with her dad at 7 a.m. on a Saturday. It was a pretty quiet drive there, I can assure you. But after the day's experiences and just all the things that she learned and she wanted to talk about, it was a tremendous drive home. And in fact, she even called me out on a couple driving mistakes that I made on when we left the class. So I call that a win myself.
Well, for 12 years now, Kia, you've been with Brakes, providing a fleet of vehicles. It's been an important program. But you mentioned something then. If they're not in your area, right, how can teens take part in this?
Well, I think the easiest thing to do would be to jump onto the Brakes website, which is putonthebrakes.org. Again, putonthebrakes.org. Not only is there information about Doug and his program, but it's also that's where the scheduling is done. Now, as I said, they're based in North Carolina, so there are quite a few events in the greater southern part of the United States, but they do go everywhere, and it's a annual program. It happens, on a near constant basis in cities all across the country. Every weekend. So I would recommend getting on that website and taking a look, and it's free of charge. We at Kia are proud to be able to financially cover the cost of the program, but they do fill up quickly. In fact, when I was trying to arrange for my daughter to do the program, it took a couple rounds before we could squeeze in. Yeah. And I work for Kia, for goodness sake.
There you go.
So I would recommend that. Yeah. So get on that website, take a look, and even if it takes a little bit of travel, get to one, because, as you said, better than 60% of graduates are not exposed to some of the dramas and traumas of teen driving, and that's worth $1 million.
I think it's critical because I'll be honest with you, James, I'm from a different country, and there's no way known you're allowed to get behind the wheel of a car at the age you are in America, right? You have to be older to get your license. So that has always surprised me. But let's say, okay, well, don't stop me doing it. Fine. But go and do a course or listen, and certainly turn the darn phone off when you're in the car, because that's becoming prevalent too.
Oh, yes.
But folks, listen, putonthebrakes.org. This is a terrific website. It gives you all the details, how to book, how to do it. Think about this. If it saves the life of your son or your daughter, right, is it worth maybe a little holiday over there to get it done, or to go somewhere to get this done?
Good idea.
All the places are on it. Just go to putonthebrakes, all one sentence, putonthebrakes.org. Not .com, .org, all right? Putonthebrakes.org. And James, thanks to Kia, fantastic and wonderful work. I'm very grateful to you. Thank you, because it helps our young teens in America today.
Yeah, pleasure's all mine. Important topic, and it's a pleasure to share time with you.
All right. Thank you, James. Keep up the good work. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Join us again for another episode of The Mark Bishop Show. It's a production of Mark Bishop Media.